Hello everyone, welcome to today's chess game analysis. I say today's, but actually this was played quite a few months ago, and I've already done a video on this, but I'm going to redo it. Um, yeah, this was the game between Goofbrush, who's playing white in this case. I think it's courteous to, when you first play songs, let them play white. Well, that's the excuse that I use anyway. Yeah, so I was playing black, and yeah, so he I should also mention he's a very good Star Wars Episode 1 racer player and a relatively new member of the community. There's currently a tournament going on, the winter tournament, no upgrades, so definitely worth a look at his channel to have a look at some of his content. With that, I would recommend that. Especially if you like racing games, obviously. Yeah, so again, he's playing white, I was playing black. This was a pretty interesting game, really, because usually I do better than my opponent in the opening, and then I screw up the tactics, so it was kind of a strange one, this, to be the other way around. I had a pretty terrible opening, but sort of ended up with a good position. Unfortunately, he made a few mistakes later in the game, so... But let's have a look anyway. So it starts with d4. So this is already pretty much resignable because I don't know what to do against d4. I usually play e4 openings, but no. So yeah, d4, knight f6, which is what I play. I'm just going to turn on the engine here so we can have a look at the stockfish analysis. It does actually have Komodo on here as well, but I'm just going to. I quite like stockfish, so. Yeah, and yeah, c4 would be the probably the best move, or certainly one of the best, controlling the centre, taking away d5 from black. The move that he plays, which he likes to play, which I thought was very interesting, is the accelerated London. I assume it still is with knight f6. Usually it would be with d4 first, but I think transposition. I don't think it really matters. But obviously this does give black the opportunity to play d5, which I did play. The other move which is of some sort of interest here is the move c5, and obviously just attacking the centre immediately. And it suggests like e3 would be best. If we just take this, well, there's knight c. It's interesting. It comes up with knight c6 now. There's knight a6 as well. Slightly, yeah, I think knight a6 is actually a bit better here. And there's no way to defend this. If b4, then just takes. So that's no good. I think the other move perhaps worth looking at, it's probably not quite as good. Queen a5 check. Looks like this isn't quite as good actually, but yeah, that's another line potentially that can be used for black. Yeah, so c5 would have been a move. Yeah, d5 from me. This is a sound alternative, and yeah, e3 I think came, yeah, e3. And bishop f5, so going into the sort of computer's suggested line here. And then here, a good move, yeah, so bishop d3 is one move that can be played, that's the engine's preference. c4 he played, I do like c4, I think c4 is a good move here for white. Does open up the line for the queen as well, so I was actually a bit concerned about queen b6. It turns out that's not an issue. I can actually just play e6 here, and yeah, you see the best move is something like knight c3. We could try knight to f3 possibly as well. Looks like that's, yeah, knight f3 is playable. It looks like this bishop takes b1 is a move. But yeah, I mean, usually with the London system, I mean, we've got these two pieces here, so white's usually controlling e5, and it's kind of a question of, well, which do you put here first, the bishop or the knight? If you put the bishop first to f4, then you're kind of pretty much stating your intentions pretty clearly with what you want to do with this bishop, so it's very specific in its setup, very fixed, and yeah, very clear what you're going to do, so very clear progression. But yeah, that would have been a move. Yeah, so here if queen b6 and knight c6 would actually be the best continuation. If takes, which is obviously what the main concern was, then knight b4, and this seems to solve all the issues because we've got this attack threat here, this fork of the king and the rook. Obviously there's no queen takes because the bishop covers. Everything's defended here, and yeah, knight a3 stopping this, and then this nice move just takes, opening up this diagonal here. Bishop takes c4, yeah, and then here, yeah, bishop e4, very nice move, just attacking everything basically. So you see we've got attack on g2, we're still attacking c3, we're attacking the queen, so it's not a very good idea for white to actually take this, so that's why that would have been fine. So yeah, a bit of a regret from me to play my bishop back here to c8. In some positions it's actually a good idea to play your bishop back to c8 sometimes, because also your bishop defends, you know, your bishops defend these pawns at the start of the game, so you want to make sure they don't get attacked, you know, or at least certainly not taken anyway. You've got to be careful always in those situations. But yeah, it was a little bit of a, you know, not something you want to do intentionally really, you know, undeveloped pieces. And it did cause some issues later for me because I ended up sort of blocking this bishop in. So yeah, so knight c3 would be a continuation. Here we got the bishop to d3. I think knight c3 is better. Again, we can look at this move. Yeah, knight f3 is probably the move I would play. Yeah, bishop d3 I wasn't so keen on, just because of d takes c4. And the best move would be bishop takes. There is also this queen a4 check, and knight c6 would have been best. That's a pretty interesting move actually. Note there's no d5 because just queen takes. So that's worth looking at there. Yeah, the best move here is just bishop takes, because obviously we are attacking the bishop. Of course, queen takes would also be. I'm not sure. Queen takes is possible now. It doesn't really matter the knights here, but yeah, that would have been the best move. I think I was concerned about my knight getting attacked. I guess I forgot I was attacking this bishop, but yeah, the knight's definitely better here than here. Certainly, it blocks these pieces, and yeah, it's just one of those things. I guess I just didn't quite pick the best move here. And then queen takes c4 actually comes with a threat. So obviously this is, you know, kind of helpful for white. See, so c6 is actually forced. Knight f3 would have been a good move, which he played. So yeah, e6 now. Yeah, the computer wants me to play like g6 and fianchetto this bishop. I think that seems to be a good idea. Knight h5, interesting move here coming up. Yeah, g6 as well. I thought there was some reputation from knight h5. Yeah, bishop e5. I think I looked at. And yeah, I should perhaps chuck in this line, because this shows up in a different line. So you have to d-takes this. This knight's kind of trapped here, I think. Yeah, so we've got no squares for the knight because g6. I don't particularly like that line. The computer says it's playable, but yeah. So yeah, knight to b6 in a later, actually in this position even, is the best move, I think. So, but yeah, e6. So obviously this bishop's not going anywhere anytime soon, really. Which is, yeah, it's very, very difficult to develop this bishop. I think this was the biggest problem really that I had with my position. So we've got castles. Yeah, knight b6. So getting a tempo. I'm going to perhaps move this bishop at some point now. You know, if I mean, it's always difficult to play e5 because of these pieces here. You know, but yeah, the queen's got a few squares. I think queen b3 was probably the best. Queen c1's a move. I think he played queen c2, so we've got this battery here on h7, which is currently defended by this knight and this rook. So yeah, just something to pay attention to there. And then yeah, bishop d6, which the computer says it doesn't like. I think rather for positional reasons. If takes takes here, e4. And yeah, queen e7. I think queen c7 was a move possibly at some point, but queen c7, and just develops like this. And you know, these pawns tend to be pretty good here in the centre if they can stay defended. Always sort of like hanging pawns almost, because usually you don't want to play something like f3, but I think, you know, I mean, there's no dark square bishop at the moment, so this diagonal's never going to be an issue for white. So I think this would actually be fine. But yeah, computer doesn't really like bishop d6. But yeah, I played it anyway. Knight bd5 was the recommended move. Okay, bishop takes d6. Yeah, bishop takes d6. So yeah, we saw this interesting move which I didn't see, but it turns out to be a pretty good move. This pin, because obviously this knight is currently defending here, and I remember during the game, or rather after the game, he mentioned that he found some sort of mating idea. Should I castle? Turns out he was not quite right with his analysis, but I think that's partly why he did this. Let's have a look. So yeah, h6. So obviously that means that, you know, white can't take this pawn because it's not there, and white's now forced into a decision. You know, does he take or does he play bishop h4? Both moves are playable. I'll just double check that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, both moves are playable. Bishop h4 I think was the more interesting one, and it's actually not coming up now, but I'm pretty sure g5 is a move here. Yeah, g5 is a move for black. That's a pretty scary line. I'm pretty glad I didn't play this. Bishop g3. There's no g4, just knight e5, and you know, it's unclear really what's going on here. I mean, probably you'd want to just keep pushing, but the trouble is with this, we've got this move now, bishop h4, just re-pinning this knight, and there's no way to defend it because obviously these pawns can't move backwards. So this is rather weakening. And actually it suggests the best idea is actually to take here, and then after f takes, knight f d5, so something like this. But this is not really ideal. Queen e2, we've got castling. You don't really want to be castling in this sort of position, so it's not really clear what black's doing in that variation. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to pause the video there for just a moment.